looking back on Western Illinois, really proud of our guys. It's not an easy trip. It's not an easy place to play. And there's been a lot of games up there, but to go up there and really take care of business, it wasn't easy. We didn't start out great. I felt like our defense continues to play at a high level, and did so there in the first half. It was disappointing not to score, especially off of the special teams getting us going for the second week in a row, and then not being able to punch that ball in from the one. But excited about our guys, just commitment to everything, all phases, on and off the field, and just it's fun as a coach to see a team come together, and their commitment to every detail in the meeting rooms and practice, and it's fun to see them have some success. But the thing that makes me the most proud is their commitment to keep chasing their best. You get back here on Sunday and it's not a happy-go-lucky and pat yourself on the back. It's watching that film intently and looking to get better. And we feel like our best game we still haven't played. We've played well at times, but it's about execution, and we can execute at a higher level. So we went up there and got a win, and now we're looking forward to the opportunity that we have this weekend against North Dakota State. I don't think that you need me to stand up here and tell you how good of a football team's coming to Carbondale. 33 games in a row, I think it is, or maybe that they've won, and numerous national championships. Coach Ince has just kept the train rolling. They might be better than they have been in the past. I think, they've had a couple quarterbacks. They're making a lot of money right now in the NFL, and I think this one probably is on his way to do that as well. He's as good as those guys, or will be. And then they just do so many things really well. They execute. I've used them. We've had to watch them on film. We've played a number of opponents after they have this season. And, our guys, watching those guys, really, you're not going to get, tricked, or they don't do any, special things. They execute at a really high level. All 22 guys really play and play with great technique and fundamentals. They're really well coached. They got good schemes, but they just really out-execute you for 60 minutes and with really good players. And so it's going to be an execution game. We're going to have to come, and we're going to have to execute at a high level. We got to take care of the football, and we got to play well on special teams. So we are very excited about the opportunity, and I look forward to our week of preparation.
Do you ever look at other teams that have played it against North Dakota State? See, for instance, Missouri State, they only scored 22 points. What was the reason for that? Was it just Missouri State had a great defensive game, or North Dakota State took them lightly, or what was that?
Yeah, I guess that when you win a game by 22, it's you got to look at what they did wrong in that game. But they. No, you look at every game. You pull film, and especially late in the season, you're up here maybe a little bit longer just because there's a lot of games to go through, a lot of film, and so yeah, I mean that's every week, no matter who you're playing with. You see what their tendencies are, what their strengths are, what teams have had success, and what you can maybe do within your schemes to take advantage of that. And I think that's what every coaching staff does. Missouri State went up there and played well. I'm sure there's some things they wish they could do differently, but they won the game by 3 touchdowns. And so no, but there's some things that I think that we can take advantage of. We got to play well. We've got good players. We're going to have a good game plan, and that, like I said, I don't. It's not going to come down to that. It's going to come down to us executing. It's going to come down to us tackling well. It's going to come down to us blocking really good players, and if we do that, we'll give ourselves a chance.
Do most teams that play North Dakota State pack the box, or do they do something else to try to stop?
Well, you gotta. I think that it's the same with they want to run the football. But if you're just packing the box, I think the one thing they've had excellent receivers. Shepard was really good for a long time, but gives them something a little different than they've had. I mean, he's got some juice now. He can take the top off. He can make you miss if you just throw it out there to him, and can take it from any distance. So, you've got to mix it up. You really do. He's a quarterback. The thing that he's done so well, and for a redshirt freshman, is he just takes care of the football. Some of his most impressive plays are when he checks the football down. When a freshman quarterback usually has big eyes down the field, wants to push the ball down the field, and he can do that. He's got an extremely strong arm. But when you see him just take what's there and take the back underneath and keep the guy, his team out of trouble, it's easy to talk about that, and you see experienced quarterbacks do that. But for his first year, the amount of great decisions he's made really separates him.
Do you need your best game of the year to win this game, or can you play less than perfect ball?
Well, I don't think our message isn't going to be that we have to go out and play perfect. I want our guys to play like they have been. I mean, with a ton of passion and playing with each other. I think they've got confidence in whenever you get some momentum. But we don't have to play a perfect game. You're never going to play a perfect game. So if you go in thinking that, and there's going to be adversity in this game, and you feel like it's not going your way, and then it starts to steamroll. I mean, we just have to keep fighting it out one play at a time, and it'll give ourselves a chance. I think that, so no, I don't think we have to play a perfect game, and we're going to have to play really well. I don't think there's been many teams that have, nobody in the last 33 games has beaten them. So you got to play really well to beat them. You got to do all those little things. I mean, no one has beaten them in the last 10 years that beat themselves. So I think that's the message to us. I mean, there's going to be some times the best play is throwing it out of bounds. Let's punt. Let's play good defense. Let's get the ball back. Let's play great football. If you're turning the football over and you're giving them easy opportunities, it's going to be a long day. You got to play really good on special teams where that cannot be a +1 for them. We've been doing that. We've blocked a punt. We've caused a turnover. We're going to have to find a way. Now we've got to execute better on special teams as well. We dropped the ball and they blocked the punt, and then our roughing the punter. Things like that. If we've got them stopped, we can't let them have another possession, or it's going to be a long day. So I think it's just about executing and us going out and staying within what we do.
What's the biggest challenge trying to keep him, the quarterback? It's not just his arm, his speed. He may be the fastest guy on the team when you watch him.
Yeah, no, he's it's like I said. I mean, you're not gonna just completely stop him. You're gonna have to. We got to do a great job tackling. When we have opportunities to get him down in the pocket, we've got to get him down. We talked about that, even at South Dakota. So a lot of times whenever you get the opportunities to make plays, we got to make them, and he's going to make some plays. But we've got to do a great job in our rush lanes when the call's there, who has contain. Those are the little things when we look back on Sunday on the film. If we do that and we execute at a high level, we're going to give ourselves a chance. And so, mixing up some pressures. You just can't pressure all the time, but we've just got to go and play well, and I expect us to go do that.
Does this game feel different at all for you, with it being the first time you're fighting for a playoff spot in your coaching career?
Well, yeah, I think that we would be up here lying if we didn't say that this didn't have a different feel to it. The last 3 years we haven't been playing for postseason play at the end of the year, and that's where we need to expect to be, and the expectations and standards of this program need to get back to that, and have that sense of urgency every game. And I like I told them yesterday in the meeting is whenever you have that standard about yourself every single week, then when you get to big games, nothing changes. Tuesday's the same. It's not like you can turn a new switch and now you're going to practice a little bit better. We're in this position because we've made that commitment throughout the year, and so nothing will really change as far as that. But yeah, it's you want to be put in the arena on big games and big opportunities. I'm excited. This might be the biggest game that's been played here at Saluki Stadium. It's going on its 10th year, 10th season, I believe, and that's what we talked about is getting exciting football in November in this beautiful stadium, and I'm excited that we get the opportunity to do that.
How important is the mental side of this game? Do you have to believe before the game you can win, or do you have to get into the game and see that you can win the game before you win it? What are you thinking mentally about preparing your team?
Yeah, I mean, I don't have any doubt that the Jeremy Chins and DJ Davis and Anthony Knighton and those guys and Javon Williams. The best thing about Javon is I don't think he really thinks that too much about any. He just goes and he just plays. He probably thinks he's the best player on every field, and so that's a good thing. And so those guys right now are coming up there getting the game plan, excited to go play, and expect to be, just like they have been. So, but yeah, you've got to believe that you can win. But I do believe that you got to have some success early. When you settle down, and it's kind of like whenever like we talk about, you go play Arkansas State or whoever. You want to have some success early, and it settles down, and then it just this is just another game that we're going to have to go and play really good football and do the fundamental things that it takes to win this football game. And so I think there's a little bit of both, but I don't think that we'll have to do any convincing. There won't be any David versus Goliath or anything. We're a top 25 team for a reason. We're a good football team, and we've got to go out there and once you get in November, you're going to play a lot of good football teams, and this just happens to be the #1 team, and we're excited about it.
Injuries, suspensions?
No suspensions, but injuries. Came out with, especially with the tackles. Ernest will be back. Probably have him limited on tomorrow, but will be in practice. Probably Bo will be questionable, but we'll look to have him running around tomorrow too. I felt like, I can't say enough about Brett and Lucas stepping in at tackle and doing a good job. Really made a point in front of the entire team yesterday to talk about several guys, but those two in particular did an outstanding job. And so, but it'll be good to get those guys back. Trying to think who else you guys could help me out. Who else? Really, those were the main two guys. Bryce Notary continues to try to get back. He was running around again yesterday. He'd like to play in this game, obviously, and so we'll see how his week looks like as we go down the stretch here. We could possibly be getting Bryce back. So I think that's it on the injury front.
Your tight end came out okay, Gilbert?
Yeah. Kilby came out okay. Caught the ball there in the second to last play. Romir is still in the concussion protocol. We'll find out today. I haven't got the update on him here this morning. Was feeling better, so we'll see how he is. Obviously, we'd like to get him back as well.
I'm sorry if I missed it. Griffin Sarah, Nico's done great.
Yeah, no, Nico. Can't say enough about him either. I mean, that's a big time kick. Last week we needed it in a big way to go up, by 10. I mean, that was a big kick, 45 yards. It was a little bit into the wind, and so he's done an outstanding job. Griffin was kicking yesterday lightly, so I'm looking at Bo walk across the parking lot there. So, but anyways, Griffin will be coming back, probably be questionable for this game, but Nico has been doing a good job.
How does Bo or Stone help you out during the week since he's not playing, and how is he taking not playing?
Well, number one, he's one play away, and as you see across the country, you gotta be ready to go. You gotta be dialed in, and it just is excited to play. we've always talked about that as a backup quarterback, or you're not going to play well when you do get that opportunity. Obviously, anybody that started the year, Stone has had a disappointed he's not out there, but he's been excellent as far as his approach and his practice and on the sideline during the games, and just being he's on our leadership council, and he continues to be up there today in our leadership meeting, and has been doing a great job. In fact, Coach Stein, stopped me in the hallway. I think it was on Thursday or Friday, and was just like, man, I'm really proud of Stone. I talked to him about, hey, how you doing? And he just had a great attitude, and he was like, that shows a lot about your team whenever, it's buy-in. Obviously, he wants to be out there, and like I tell him every week, you never know when that opportunity is going to come back.
You're right. You're guaranteed a winning record, but I mean, do you feel like you won't get to turn the program around until you get to the playoffs?
Yeah, I mean, our standard. I mean, we're not hiding from that. Is to get into postseason play. You feel like this program needs to and is back to being in the top 24 teams, and if they're putting 24 teams in the playoffs, we feel like we're one of those teams. I think that our mission this week is to go win this game. That's what I said after the game. That's what I've told every single person, and that's what those players in there believe. I mean, if not, then I don't know why we're playing the game. But as far as this team, I feel like we're in that conversation. Not just in the conversation, we deserve to be in postseason play. Right now, we got a good football team, and so at some point you're going to have to beat the number one team if you want to get, and that's the standard, and we get that opportunity this week. I think that we've won 5 games in a row. When we lost those first 2 games, I think we've learned from that. I think we're playing better from that. We didn't play with our 2 All-Americans. I think that if you would ask any team in the top 10, if, say, you take your top 2 All-Americans out and go play, they wouldn't be too happy about that. And so our guys have been resilient. Those guys have come back, and since those guys have come back, we've been a pretty good team.
But you've talked for years now that quarterbacks are fairly or unfairly measured by wins and losses. Do you need superior quarterback play to win Saturday?
I mean, I don't know if I would say superior. We got to play well. We got to take care of the football. We got to play winning football. Really at the end of the game, and I told this in front of the team, I mean, that interception just as much on me as it is Correa at the end of the game. He's got to execute, and that's his mentality as well. But with 10 seconds to go without a timeout, and they're going to drop 8 guys, and it's 3rd and 10 from the 10, there's really not a good play. I mean, if somebody's got one out there, they could text it to me later. But I was sitting there, I'm just like, man, I even said that. I was like, I don't really like this call. He's got to throw it at the bender to the field if we have a chance, and that's where he went with the ball. Just everybody dropped up underneath. If you throw it short and they tackle you, the quarter's over. There's really, when you drop 8 guys in the end zone right there, there's really nowhere to go with the ball unless you're going to force it in there. If I had to do it again, I would have kicked the field goal on 3rd down and just got the points. It's our ball coming out of half. Put him in a tough situation right there, and so we got to play winning football. I felt like he got going there, especially that opening drive coming out of halftime. Was throwing the ball really well, but yeah, I mean, winning the football game, no matter what it takes, I think is our plan at quarterback.
How many running plays did you have? 66 or something?
Yeah, I think that's 60 something.
Does the Bison, do they use just a 4 linemen for pass rush, or do they do a lot of blitzing?
They do. They get home with 4 now. 91's as good a defensive end as there is in the country. They've got new. I mean, they're all good. So at their position, they do a great job. Just like anybody, they get you to 3rd down. They're going to get in some sub packages, and create some pressure. They'll mix up their pressures on normal down and distance too, some run pressures, but they get home with 4 a lot. They have their for this 10-year or whatever, they've been on longer than a 10-year run, but this 10-year run, they've been able to get home with 4 guys a lot. And when you can do that and you can play, coverage in the back end, and you're getting sacks and you're getting pressures with a couple guys rushing, you usually have a really good defense.
Australia has a history of producing great punters. Is that what attracted you to Jack, or why did you recruit such partisans?
Yeah, they do, and they've been doing a good job. There's a group out there that's kind of placing guys across the country, and Coach Petrino had a relationship with those guys and kind of had recruited a guy from that group before, and but if you look across the country, there's a lot of Division I guys that are coming from kind of this camp, and Jack was out there, and I can't say it's not easy. I mean, when you're recruiting a kid, a lot of times we talk about, like, how are they at responding and getting things done, and when you're asking for transcripts and when you're asking them to apply and when you're doing all those type of things, you usually know what type of kid you're getting by the response that they have and the follow through, and you tell them to do something, they do it. And Jack had to jump through 100 hoops to get here, just with being an international student, and he came over here and then he had to go back in the summer. He was here for a little bit, and all the stuff that goes into that, and his communication was unbelievable, and his want to be here. So Coach Petrino gets all the credit as far as staying consistent. Because it was a lot of work, and can we do it and all this, but he just continued to come down to my office every day. We're working on it. We're going to get him here. He wants to be here. And then when we offered him, the follow through. So he's got a lot of talent. He continues things like even dropping the ball, being backed up. He's never played football before. So he's just going to keep getting better. All these experiences have been great for him. His attitude is unbelievable. Even in tough times, he's got a great demeanor. He's going to just keep getting better.
Does it enter into your thinking, your fourth down thinking, the red zone, that if we don't make it, our defense has a chance to stop them?
Yeah, no, playing with a great defense changes a lot of things. I just can't say enough about it. Really, just the resolve, and down there twice, down in the low red zone. I mean, just as I talked to him about yesterday. Really, the most exciting thing. There's a lot of players making plays, and you can talk about that, but just their demeanor. That is their job, and you talk about that, but you got to go out there and do it. As far as, hey, it's a turnover, or it's we roughed the punter. You got to go back out there. Your job is to do your job at a really high level. No matter what the situation is, you adapt and adjust, and those guys are just always ready to go back and do whatever it is. Hey, it's at the minus, it's a +6. We got to go out there and get a stop. They just got a first down. There's not a lot of, when you see those guys, there's an explosive play and they get it tackled, and we talk about not letting explosives go for touchdowns, and that mentality, okay, now let's get them stopped, I think has been something that we got to continue to build on, but has been really good. So, but as a play caller, yeah, I think when you get in those ranges, you cross the 50, you've got to start thinking about that.
Okay. Is there anything else, Coach?
All right, appreciate it.